Everyone, welcome to the Seeds of Success podcast, hosted by Dottie San Martin and myself, Orla Rivera. This show is your weekly dose of knowledge, insights, and actionable tips to transform centers into striking successes. Whether you're a seasoned industry professional or just stepping onto the lanes, we've got you covered. So, Dottie, the other day, someone asked me, where's a good place to take someone for Valentine's Day around here? And I mentioned the local bowling center, and they kind of gave me a weird look. I don't think that was something crazy to say. Do you think?
No, actually, I don't either, Orly. It's funny that you said that. I was just looking through our Best Extras blog and I came across the top 10 reasons why bowling makes a perfect first date.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to be said about, you kind of got that reaction when you told them that. That tells me that people still sometimes have the mindset that bowling is just bowling, and it's not. It's all about the experience. And especially with the technology as it is today, there are so many things that you can do to really turn that into a wonderful night out, a great, Valentine's Day celebration, but you can't just expect it to happen. You can't just turn the lanes on and go, okay, it's Valentine's Day. You're here. We're going to make this romantic. You have to have it planned out, right?
Yeah.
So, and like I said, with technology today, that makes it really easy. So we want to talk about a few of those things. I'd like, let's see if we can hold it to about 4 or 5 things, right? Sometimes we get carried away. And there are really a lot of things, both technology-wise, that you can do to really make that Valentine's Day experience, a very memorable experience, a very romantic experience, an experience that people are going to leave there talking about. And so that's what we want to talk a little bit about today. So,
and I think one thing right off the bat is, I've had people come into the center and they're like, wow, this place is so cool looking and all the lights and this and that. I haven't been in a bowling center in, 50 years. So first off, if you haven't been into a bowling center in a long time, go check out your local center, especially if it's one of these newer centers or a center that's been doing a lot of upgrades. You'll be amazed with the technology and all the things that are going on inside today. Sometimes you don't see that from the outside, but you're going to step in and you're going to be blown away by some of the things that are out there now.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to talk about a few of those things and how you can really elevate your experience by really leveraging what you have in your facility to do just that. It's not going to do it by itself. Well, some it does, but just by seeing it, you elevate the experience. But there's some mindful things that you can do that really are going to make that Valentine's Day experience memorable for your guests. And remember, people are willing to pay for experiences. They're willing to pay for those customized, those personal experiences, those interactive experiences, those immersive experiences. People are willing to pay for those types of experiences. So
the premium, right? You want to pay for that premium, you have some of these streaming companies, you could pay this low fee or you could pay that premium and have no commercials, so people are willing to pay that to have that extraness to it. So, and I think that's one thing I mentioned, they walk into the center and they see all these, new things right off. I think that's where you start, just with your atmosphere on Valentine's. You walk in, you want to see something that's going to blow your mind, blow your date's mind, your friend's mind that you're taking in there. You want them to see, okay, this is a Valentine's event and they're showing it. You can see it everywhere as soon as you walk in.
Yes. And those that have a LED, the Neoverse wall, there's all kinds of themed content out there that's available for that with the hearts and all that. That sets the tone. That sets the atmosphere. Don't have your lights on bright. Find a way to dim those lights just a little bit. The little things that you want to do to go with that. Of course, that makes the wall just really pop. When you lower the lights, the wall just really pops. Even things like, of course, you want to make sure that your facility is nice and clean for special events like that. But also, think about the smell. So that you've got to tap into all of those senses, right? So maybe get some, you can get all these designer scents right now that you can spray within your facility or have it available in your restrooms and stuff like that. Make sure that you've got that smell going on in the center too, where it smells nice and clean and that boutique smell. A lot of the Las Vegas hotels have their own scents. So there's something to be said about that. But leverage that wall and making sure that when people walk in, they feel the love in the air, right? By leveraging that wall. So
they're going to walk and see those hearts, those hearts bouncing across the screen. They're going to want to take photos in front of it, take videos. You have that. If you have that there, use it. Let them see it, show them what it's all about. And they're going to love that, and then that goes back to marketing your place. If they're posting videos and pictures of, hey, I'm over here at such and such lanes, other people are going to see that and be like, oh, wow, I didn't know they had that. They may not be there for your Valentine's Day event that night, but it's sure going to get them in another day.
Yeah. And so when we're talking atmosphere, not only can the biggest impact that you're going to have would be leveraging the content on your Neoverse wall, but also the rest of the atmosphere in your facility. So, put some decorations around, get your staff involved. Maybe the staff wears a different shirt that day. Maybe you encourage them to all wear red that day. And then of course you always want to make sure that your staff is playing into the experience that you're delivering and make sure they've got their best foot forward for that day as well. The other thing is people are looking for very personalized events to be able to feel like it was just for them. Technology really enables that as well, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
And when you put it up on the big screen, I mean, what better way to showcase your Valentine, your special someone? And I know there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. So if you want to take and have them in advance, be able to choose from like certain messages that they can send to their Valentine. Maybe that's an add-on. Maybe it's part of the package that you're offering for Valentine's. And then on their lane, they have a special Valentine message for their special someone. Wow. That creates a unique experience, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking like being in a stadium and, nowadays they'll say, whether it's tweet this hashtag and your photo up there, and we're popping somebody's on the big screen up there. People love that. They're all about trying to get on the Jumbotron, A Neoverse is basically a Jumbotron in your center. So if you get their special message up there, maybe get their photo up there. If, like you said, maybe it's a just like with New Year's we've talked about, you could pre-sell your tickets to this event. So if somebody's purchasing it, maybe you say, hey, if you have a photo of the two of you would like to send in, or friends, or your date, or whatever. Message, let us get it up to personalize that. And imagine walking down, they see that when you get to your lane. And kind of back to the appearance really quick, something simple on if you have, a table there, furniture, like a little candy bowl or a little special message down there. Like that's really cool once you're walking down, that's going to make it feel like a special night and something, you could tell they went above and beyond to set this up for you.
Yes. And another thing that you can do as far as personalizing the experience, if you don't have the Neoverse wall, you can also take your signature welcome screen and you can have a special message. Remember, that's customizable. You get the screen, an image, you can put a video, you can put a special message up there, type in a text message, or your scoring grid can also be customized. Maybe you have a special message there that's set, and your customer can, when they register for the event, they can either, like I said, it can be included in your experience, or you can add it on for an extra fee, that you have a customized welcome message when you walk down to your lane. That's unique. That sets you apart from a lot of other people. So that personalization added to the experience also can take that experience up it enhances that experience. It takes it up a notch. So the other thing is to take a look at your food and beverage that you're offering and make sure that you are what can I do to my food and beverage that I am currently offering to make it to where it's a little bit unique. So do we have anything shareable?
Yeah.
Do we want to offer, again, back to that opportunity of enhancing that experience? There's a lot of ability to upsell to enhance an experience. We can upsell our food. So maybe there's a charcuterie board for 2, or maybe you are able to purchase chocolate covered strawberries and add to your experience. Or maybe you, go down that road and you create something unique that you didn't have.
Yeah.
So to be able to upsell would be great.
Yeah. And, or like the stuff you do have. So, on your regular night, you sell lemonade. Why not throw a strawberry in it, make it red, or some, throw something in there and call it like, the love lemonade. Or, you could take what you already have, add a little touch to it, whether it's a red cup, whether it's some, red food coloring in it, or red cherry flavoring in it, and, cut a strawberry heart. Yeah. Put a strawberry heart on top of it. That just takes it to the next level. And it just makes that event like just much more memorable.
Yes, absolutely. And all of these things go into taking that experience up to the next level. Another thing that's really fun that guests can do is encourage your guests to use U-Tunes. Part of that experience is, especially if you're out on a date and it's just a friend, or maybe it is that first date, right? That can be kind of scary. But it's so much fun to gather around that console and take those pictures for U-Tunes and then see them up on the monitors. Or if you do have Neoverse, to see that activity going on out on the Neoverse wall is so much fun. It creates conversation. It creates that fun that fun atmosphere. And the nice thing is, with U-Tunes, most especially, it will take a group photo of everybody in their avatar. And that actually is part of what the new Best Envy scoring system has as part of bowling memories, where it'll automatically share that back with you. So that makes a nice little memory that you can take away from that night. So that's really kind of cool too.
Yeah, people always like to take home a memory. They like to take home, whether it's, think of when you go to a wedding and they leave stuff on the table. Sometimes it's something random, but people love taking home that memory so they could say, hey, this reminds me of when, I went to Dottie's wedding, or I went to this trip. So imagine that. Imagine if it's their first date and they get married someday, and show their kids, hey, this is what, on our first date, we went to this bowling center and this is what they gave us as a little take home. So having that memory is really cool.
And, Orly, I want to go backwards just a little bit. We were talking about atmosphere. We were talking about food and beverage, and really to be able to personalize that experience. Don't be afraid to, as part of that atmosphere, just because you have never had linens on your tables down in the settee area, don't be afraid to do that. If you have a linen service, ask them, do you have small little, linen tablecloths that I can put? I'm having this really nice Valentine's Day special. I'd like red table covers for my tables. And like you said, put a little, a bowl of kisses on the table or whatever. Yeah. Think of those opportunities that you can add to that experience to really elevate it, to make it something that people are going to leave there going, wow, that was really cool. I had a really great time. And I would have never thought to have my date night or my celebrate Valentine's Day in a bowling center. There are so many reasons why. And when you elevate that experience by leveraging what you have and adding all those little bitty special touches, that makes a big difference. And people are willing to pay for those types of experiences. Yeah.
And if this is your first time doing this in your center, and you set up that great experience for somebody, what's going to happen is somebody's going to ask them, oh, would you spend Valentine's Day at, such and such lanes for Valentine's Day? Yeah, you should have seen what they had. They had this and that. And then that carries on for next year. Other people are going to be like, oh, wow, I didn't know they had that. And then there you go. You're gonna have people fighting for a space in your center for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And, Orly, and we said we were going to keep it to 4 or 5, specific things that you could do to take your experience to that next level. But another thing is to really be able to leverage, that experience. You might even have one of your staff members be kind of a roving person offering to take pictures for the guests. Say, would you like me to capture your Valentine's Day special moment or whatever? And maybe come up with a hashtag for your center so that you get to take advantage of all that as well. But sometimes something as simple as offering, having someone go down and offer, would you like me to take your picture? Especially if you see somebody that's got their arms stretched as far as it'll go to take a selfie and they're struggling. That's a great opportunity for you to add to that experience and offer, and then encourage them to use the hashtag that you have for the center.
Yeah, you can even say, hey, we're going to have somebody doing that, and maybe you have fun with that. Hey, we have Cupid going around the building today. He's taking pictures, or she's taking pictures for you. She or he's doing this and that, and that'd be kind of fun, and it just adds to the experience. People are going to be taking pictures of that person. I'd be Cupid. I'd be the one to want to do that because I like the attention. I'd be out there with my bow and arrow and be having fun with it.
Yeah. And for all those creative people out there, if you want to stream, you can take all these pictures that are going on. And remember, you have a big jumbotron in front of you if you've got Neoverse. So put your thinking cap on how you can leverage that, and you can make the Valentine's Day experience memorable for your guests. So lots and lots of fun ways to do that. So, well, listeners, thank you so much for being part of today's episode of Seeds of Success. This was really a fun one. Orly and I love to brainstorm things like this, and there's so many ways that you can elevate the experience for Valentine's Day in your center. With decades of industry experience, we are honored to share these ideas and strategies and trends that are designed to help your entertainment center and others like yours thrive and grow. Together, we're planting the seeds for a stronger, more successful future. Share this podcast with your team and industry friends, because the more seeds we sow, the greater the harvest. Until next time, let's continue to build success, one happy guest and one incredible, lovable experience at a time.